Hi everyone, back today with another video. This is just a quick one for what I did to make gold today. So those people who have been watching my other videos know that I spent a lot of time trying to make Twitch work today. I won't get too much into that, but basically it was a real time suck and I didn't spend as much time as I would normally. So normally what I would do is log on in 30-minute intervals throughout the day and do small tasks just while I'm looking for some break time, basically. So I began this video by buying off some of the regions needed for the Tinderboxes, and I only buy these when they're at 755 or less. The lower the better, but 755 is the maximum for making profit, at least for me. Especially when you're factoring in the auction house cut. So I will list those for 480 ish, 480 ish, 2,480 ish. And I find that I make a pretty good profit margin off of those. Things have been moving a bit slowly lately on the auction house. And I think that could potentially, it could be a slowdown, but I think it has more to do with the plunder storm uh, starting, and it'll be a temporary thing, I think. So a side effect of that has meant that the prices of other things have gone up. So the prices of weaver cloth and the prices of ores and things like that have gone up, not an unbelievable amount, but definitely up. There's less people farming those things than normal. There's also less people buying those things than normal. I'm finding the pioneers, for tailoring, the pioneer items that are level 71 are selling really well on the auction house at the moment. So I'm making one of each a day and listing them on there, and as they sell, I replace them. I've made a couple. Um, I just put them on this morning before I started that Twitch stuff and just left them there. So they haven't all sold, but normally they sell. I did sell a couple and I've logged in a couple of times and collected that gold. I was really surprised that the low level things were selling and they're making a pretty decent profit margin for to 3 to 400 gold per item for a level 71 item. That's making more than some of the top tier enchants. Um, and it doesn't require any concentration. So is the gear, the crafting gear. Trying to think of the word, the crafting accessories are also selling more than they would normally. I'm finding the herbing stuff is selling more than the other things, but the other things are definitely selling. And I can make those at top tier with no concentration, and they're really quite cheap. So I've been putting those on the auction house as well, and they've been making me a steady profit. So just I'm using craft sim, so just my I encourage you to go and look really at what you can make and whether or not it's actually making a profit on the auction house. Don't just look at the top tier stuff, which is what I was doing for a long time. I was probably shooting myself in the foot a bit there. It could also be more people are leveling alts now than they have in the past, I don't know, but I am making a lot of gold with that lower level stuff, even the lower level enchants. So go and have a look at your own crafter and see whether or not anything there is making a profit. Check all of it, not just the best stuff. I did do World Quest today while on War mode, and I put out a separate video about that. You can go watch it if you want to. I was just kind of experimenting with how much more gold War mode would make me while doing it. And I was surprised that I was able to complete the War mode weekly quest while collecting my gloves of wax for my enchanting. So I'm trying to catch up on my enchanting points, and I've done that now for the Shimmering Dust. But while I was out there collecting the globs of wax, I was able to complete that quest because I have war mode on, which is enabling me to collect the things I need to make the PvP gear, which sell for a lot. Some of them sell for like between 7 and 9,000 gold. I'll only be able to make one every couple of weeks, but it's still free gold. The other thing I did today was 10 minutes of this follower farm, the Dark Flame Cleft. You do have to be a tailorer. Don't do this if you're not a tailorer or a scribe. I'm not a scribe, but scribes would make gold here too. You cannot pick up the cloth without being a tailorer and being spec'd in it. So don't just go in and hope for the best. Check your tailoring spec to make sure you're geared, your knowledge points are set up for it. But I just did this for 10 minutes. I know everybody keeps telling me that if you do the second room, you get more weaver cloth. And that is true if you're doing this to lock out, but I can only do this like a couple of times a day in like 10-minute intervals, really. So 10-minute intervals, I want to get the most cloth I possibly can. And that is by clearing this first room on repeat. The second room takes longer and you don't get as much cloth from it. So doing the first room on repeat is what gives you the most cloth the fastest. And I will say, if you are doing this to lock out, do both rooms. But I just don't have time for that. And I'm making plenty of gold this way anyway. So I just thought I'd show you. I did 10 minutes of this as well. And I do list it on the auction house at the end. Normally today I would also do my delve, my first one of the week, but I just don't have the energy for it today. I also have a deadline. I need to finish the last book in my series. Should have already done it. So I do need to go and put time there. Like a true author, I've mastered the art of procrastination, the ability of to make the possible impossible. So I do need to go do that, and I don't have time to do the delve today, but I just thought I'd post a quick video on what I did today to make gold. The tinder boxes do set you back a bit, so it does look like you will notice the beginning of this video I started out with 1,000,000 gold, and then towards the end I was down around the 900,000 because I bought the tinder boxes, and that's just it's a side effect of the tinderbox flip. It is a risky flip. Other people have pointed it out. I'm relatively confident I can make profit on it. I've done all my calculations. I have the fun Excel spreadsheet, which does not look as nice as everybody else's. It's like just the basic. If I pay this much for it, and we can't count the auction house fee, and the auction house cut, how much am I making? What does this need to list for as a minimum? Which is how I know my 755 is the maximum really I can afford while making profit. But I am relatively confident that if something happens and those tinder boxes do not sell for whatever reason, come season 2, they will. I'm really confident, and I'm confident I'll get a good price for that. Some people are just even stockpiling it now. So I'm not worried. Normally, this would be a risky flip, I guess, but I've got enough gold that if it happens really. And I've got many other gold making strategies that are working for me. I'm making a lot of gold. You can see I'm making a lot of gold each week. So I'm not too stressed about it. It's up to you what your risk tolerance is. There are other things that could be flipped on the auction house. Let me know in the comments if there's something you think I should give a go. I'm happy to do that, and I'm happy to show you my results, and talk to you about what I'm finding is working. Also, let me know if you'd like a small video on what the auction house cut is and how to factor that in, because I have noticed a lot of people with the tinderbox have been listing the tinderbox for really low prices, which is fine, which is absolutely fine, especially if you're getting those as a drop, like you're doing a thing and then you're getting the tinderbox, because listing it for 2,200 is 2,200 in profit. But if you're buying the tinderboxes, the regions for that at 780 and then listing it for 2,200, you are not making gold. So really make sure you're factoring in the deposit and the auction house cut, which is 5%. So I don't want anybody getting burned. You have to math it. And I know it sounds awful. I was an English teacher for a long time, and mathing is like the worst thing ever. So make sure you check, or just don't do the flip. It's up to you. Your risk tolerance may be higher than mine, but that's what I've discovered recently. What I didn't manage to show you, because the public orders, they go so quickly, I don't always get time to record them because you want to accept them before they go away, before somebody else picks them up. But what else I've been doing is those public orders. It was Great Vault Day yesterday. I'm in Australia, so I don't know if it makes any difference in American servers what day Great Vault Day is. But it was Great Vault Day yesterday, which means last night and today has been lots of like the crests for the enchanters and gear for the tailors, and anybody else who makes a crafting item, who has a crafting profession. So I've been picking up a lot of those, and I haven't recorded it here, sorry, but you can see the profits I've got are way up, and a lot of that is because of those public orders and the tinderbox flipping. The weaver cloth is good. It would be better if I could set aside the time to do it to lock out. I just don't. When I do have the time, I want to go do something I really enjoy. Like I really prefer the delves. And I know that's not for everyone, but it is for me. And that's where I'll dedicate my time, or I'll go explore something new or get a mount or something, because that's just who I am. Yeah, so pick and choose what you feel could be helpful. I just thought maybe if I posted what I did today to make gold, people who were thinking about doing their gameplay today could decide if they wanted to do gold farming, what it is that worked for me today, and if anybody wanted to replicate that. I also just wanted to say, for those people who noticed I made it to 1,000,002 gold today, that I've never done that before. I started gold farming in November without a clue, like totally clueless, never done this before. So that was quite a milestone for me. I don't know. It's probably not that much for some people, but for me, it felt pretty good to get that million. I think I was 1,000,002 gold. It wasn't in this character's bag. It was across bags. You could see on this character, I have about 901,000. But it was still really nice to finally reach that across all of the characters on my account. Basically, there's probably about I think 100,000 ish spread out amongst the rest of them. But that was a milestone for me, so I just thought I'd share that with you guys. That's it for today's video. Like and subscribe if you found this helpful. And as always, remember, girls don't play well.